What's up, guys? Duster McDangles back here with another video. Welcome back all the Dusters who have joined the channel in the last few weeks. It has been awesome. I'm happy to have been sharing these videos with you guys, and in today's episode we're going to be breaking down game number 2 between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. What a dominating performance from the Montreal Canadiens as they needed to bounce back after a poor performance in game number 1, and they answered the call. I thought they played absolutely incredible here tonight, but we're going to be getting into the breakdown of their play, Nick Suzuki's play, Andrei Vasilevskiy's play, who was absolutely outstanding as he was able to hold on basically to give Tampa Bay this win here in the game. We're going to break down each period. We'll get into the breakdown of everything here in this game, so stay tuned till the end, where we'll also look forward to game number 3. But also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future action. But without further ado, let's hop into the intro and get this breakdown going. So one of the biggest points here in this game was the change of Tampa Bay's lineup with Alex Killorn out with an undisclosed injury as he blocked a pretty nasty shot in game number 1, most likely a broken foot or broken bone in his foot that might have kept him out of game number 2, and how Tampa Bay would be able to respond with that lineup change. And man, Tampa Bay did not look good whatsoever here tonight as Montreal were all over the Lightning, and you could tell in the first 10 minutes. I mean, Montreal had that breakaway chance early in the game. In the 17th minute of the first period, they had that breakaway chance. Amazing save by Vasilevskiy on the poke check to keep them even early in the first period was very key to keep the Lightning really in this game early, because man, they would need Vasilevskiy later on in this game. Another big key factor in the first period, I thought, whenever Tampa Bay had those few power play opportunities, is Joel Armia back into the lineup. You could tell the Montreal PK was back in sync. You could tell they were on point. They were all over the Tampa Bay power play, and man, Tampa Bay really had a hard time trying to set up anything as they went over on the power play tonight. But man, Armia back in the lineup was a huge get back for the Montreal Canadiens, and they will need him the rest of the series moving forward. And two key factors in the first period that I thought were tone setting in this game was Montreal's attack plan. They wanted to get pucks deep here tonight. You could hear it in the media before the game. Their coach, a lot of the players were saying, we need to get the puck deep. We need to attack Tampa's defense and not make them comfortable. And that was a huge thing you guys could see in the first period and throughout this game, that Montreal were all over Tampa Bay's defense, not allowing them to really jump into the rush, really hemming them into their own zone, making it uncomfortable and throwing the body around. And you can tell Tampa Bay seemed a little uncomfortable on the back end tonight with the pressure that they didn't really get in that first game. And it really showed, because you could see in that first period a lot of the turnovers from Tampa Bay were from their defense and in the defensive zone, neutral zone area. So it was honestly really lucky that Tampa Bay was able to come out of this game with a win, really off the back of Andrei Vasilevskiy and some pretty lucky plays with that 0.3 second goal that we'll get to in the second period. But man, what a great game by Montreal. They just come up short. You run into a hot goalie. It's hard to beat a hot goalie when you play so well. It's really nothing you can do about that one except shake it off, come back in the next game. But man, Tampa looked off, and thankfully Vasilevskiy bailed him out. So let's hop into the breakdown of period number 2. Really, it's tone-setting start to the second period for the Montreal Canadiens as they continued to hem in Tampa Bay's defense. You could tell Montreal was all over them. Shots were absolutely in favor heavily for the Montreal Canadiens in this entire game, but mainly in that second period as they were able to get things going in the right direction. But later in the period, there was a goal by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Screen goal from the point, a shot from Anthony Cirelli found its way through a screen, and Carey Price just unable to react quick enough. I mean, when you're screened by 2-3 players, it really is hard to make a reaction. And he almost made the save. It barely squeaked through him, but that gave Tampa Bay a little bit of life there in that second to make them believe that, hey, maybe we can squeak out of this game with Vasilevskiy standing on his head. And that's exactly what they did. But Tampa Bay came back with a pretty poor penalty from Sergachev, really taking Lehkonen into the boards with an interference call. I don't even think Lehkonen might have came back to the bench after that hit. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention too much. I didn't see him. If he did come back, I didn't see him hardly at all after that play. Interference, dangerous play away from the boards as he slid in pretty hard with his tailbone there into the boards. Might have been some damage there, but Montreal were able to capitalize off of that power play opportunity with this soft little backhand there from Nick Suzuki, getting on the board for him. First goal of his finals career. Honestly snuck past Vasilevskiy. I think Vasilevskiy thought McDonough was going to stop that in front, but he stayed up, went through the 5-hole, and that gave Montreal a gift, tying the game at 2 in the second period, which was a huge goal to get that back in order to get back really the momentum on their side until later in the period. With 0.3 seconds left, Tampa Bay with a good chance. A bad step by Ben Sherratt. I don't know why he's stepping there with under 10 seconds left in the period. You always want to play more on the defensive side of things. And maybe he thought 2 seconds left, 3 seconds left. Hey, why not take the chance to keep the puck out of our zone? But Tampa Bay was able to slide that through and get that over to Coleman, who made a diving play. That was an absolutely amazing goal. Might have been the best goal of the playoffs. Maybe the most important goal of the playoffs. With 0.3 seconds left in the second period, Coleman gave the Tampa Bay Lightning a 2-1 lead, and honestly a lead that they did not deserve with the play that Montreal had throughout the period. They were all over them, but Tampa Bay squeaks out of that second period with the lead and the momentum heading into the third, and we could really tell in that third period that Tampa Bay really had a lot of good momentum going their way. And really the last point after that goal and really throughout that second period, Montreal really limited the offensive zone time for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, dumping, chasing, hitting bodies, keeping it deep, using their speed. And that was the Montreal Canadiens that we didn't see in Game 1. We saw them in Game 2. They were back to the Canadiens of old. It's just when Vasilevskiy makes save after save after save, his confidence is just going to build. And honestly, I don't think that goal that Vasilevskiy let up really affected him too much, as he was able to bounce back and have a 40-plus save night here to win the game for Tampa Bay. And to talk about the third period breakdown before we get into the final predictions in this game, guys, is that Tampa Bay really came out firing in this third period. I thought they looked like a completely different team. They started throwing the puck on net. Carey Price started seeing a little bit more rubber. They started hemming in a little bit Montreal in their own zone. Obviously, Montreal still played well in their third period, and I honestly thought Montreal were going to find a way to come back in this game with the way they were playing. Suzuki, Caulfield, Toffoli, they were all firing on all cylinders. Even the fourth line for Montreal tonight really stood out. Josh Anderson looked great. He was a pest all night long, but man, Tampa Bay did come out flying in that third period, and it showed as they were able to sustain a little bit more offensive zone time, which took away from Montreal's opportunities that they could have had in the offensive zone against Tampa Bay. And one of the key things that I also really noticed in the third period as well for Montreal is that they were able to line match very well, not only in the third, but all night long, trying to keep that Suzuki line away from the Kucherov line as best as they could all night long. I thought they did an amazing job, which I think also led to the great play from Suzuki tonight. He had 6 or 7 shots here, plus the goal tonight, so it's nice that they were able to get that momentum for Suzuki, getting him going so that maybe in Game 3 he has a breakout performance, maybe two goals, an assist, maybe Caulfield has a goal, but I think if they keep line matching well, they'll be able to get more production out of that top line of Caulfield, Suzuki, and Toffoli. But the dagger play in the third period as Montreal is making their push near the end of the game, trying to get things going, trying to take chances. A absolute brain fart of a play on a bad reverse from Joel Edmondson literally gifts Tampa Bay a goal as Andrei Vasilevskiy is able to slide that past Carey Price, who honestly, Carey Price was hung out to dry on that goal. I don't know if Edmondson heard Jeff Petrie call for a reverse or not, or Edmondson just had a panic play, because I know that there was a Tampa Bay attacker trying to push him around the net. He did not have to reverse that puck. He had time and space to just roll around. Again, I don't know if Jeff Petrie called for the reverse. You could almost tell on the replay that Jeff Petrie seemed upset with himself, so maybe he did yell for a reverse. Petrie threw it, and Andrei Vasilevskiy read that like a book, threw it into the back of the net, and really sealed the deal for the Tampa Bay Lightning here in this game. But man, it's tough to say what that play boiled down to. Either Edmondson just brain farting or Jeff Petrie making a bad call on the reverse. Again, typically the off defenseman, so the defenseman without the puck, normally calls the shots, whether it's D to D, reverse, quick up. You're always the one who can see more of the play as opposed to the defenseman who's picking up the puck. And I don't know if he made the call of a reverse. Obviously, it was the wrong call here, and it cost Montreal the game here tonight in game number 2, which I thought they deserved to win. They played absolutely outstanding. Shout out to everyone in the comments down below who were I wouldn't say chirping me, but having good arguments in the last video in the comments section. But shout out to you guys. Montreal bounced back. It's just unfortunate that they ran into a hot goalie. That's really what it boiled down to, and Tampa Bay got lucky with a couple chances and a couple goals, especially that last one, which was the backbreaker for the Canadiens. So it's really going to be tough here for the Canadiens because percentage-wise, in history of Stanley Cup Finals, teams that go down 2-0 in the series don't fare well. The team who goes up 2-0 in the series wins 90% of the time, and that is not a good statistic you want to be on when it comes to historical numbers. So hopefully for Montreal fans, they can prove everybody wrong, prove the stats wrong, and come back in this series and win this thing. But man, it's not looking good right now for the Montreal Canadiens as they head back home for game number 3. Obviously, they got to be really happy with their play. I thought, again, they played amazing tonight. All lines were firing on all cylinders. Nice to get Armia back into the lineup. But man, Tampa Bay really did seal this one with a couple lucky goals and great play from Andrei Vasilevskiy. He was an absolute brick wall. Again, as a former hockey player and running into a hot goalie, when your team's firing on all cylinders, you can do everything you can in your power, but if you can't beat the goalie, you're not going to win the game, and that's what happened to Montreal tonight. They had great chances. Vasilevskiy just came up big, stood tall, and he had a big night of 40-plus saves in this thing to steal it for the Tampa Bay Lightning to go up 2-0 in the series. But to now talk about here, closing thoughts on this game as well as looking forward to game number 3. Vasilevskiy is the hero of the day. He's your first, second, third star. Coleman, I thought, was amazing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yanni Gourde, Barclay Goodrow. I think those were really their only best players of the night. Everyone else for Tampa Bay was kind of lackluster. Maybe their defense, a couple nice blocks and defensive plays here and there, but Vasilevskiy and Coleman, I thought, were amazing tonight. Montreal, I think you got to just keep playing the way you're playing and really hope that you can catch Vasilevskiy on an off night because, again, you've got two of the best goalies in the world going head-to-head. A goalie, either Price or Vasilevskiy, are going to steal a game or two, and this is one of them for Vasilevskiy here in the final. So Montreal, play the same way. Hopefully Tampa Bay, if you're a Tampa fan, they make the adjustments to combat what Montreal did to adjust from their Game 1 blunder. But it's going to be a battle here on out. I think Montreal's going to get it done here in game number 3 at home in front of their home crowd, or lack thereof a home crowd. It is going to be as big as it can be with COVID restrictions, but I think Montreal will find a way to get it done on home ice in game number 3, as Tampa will then have to adjust for game number 4. But let me know what you guys think down below with your thoughts on this game and looking forward in this series. Do you think Montreal just has to keep doing what they're doing and basically capitalize on their chances, beat Vasilevskiy, and hope he has an off night? And what do you guys think about Tampa Bay? What do they need to do other than obviously have one of the best goalies in the world? What adjustments do they need to make in order to take a 3-0 series after game 3? Let me know down below in the comments. Let's start the conversation like we did last video, guys. That was so much fun conversing with you all. I really did enjoy it, and let's keep that going. But again, if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.